Chris Egan's a little fired up about his Mariners. You know, it was Monday where he sat here and said, "There's 139 games left, everybody.
Sure.
Let's not panic." Now, a couple of games later, here we are. They lose last night 5-2. What do you think, man?
Okay, Paul. 137 games to go right now. Just 137 games to go. They're only 3.5 out. But it's time. Come on, it's time. Don't tell me it's too early, Chris. It's time. And right now, it just seems like something's not there, Paul. Watching that game last night, another heartbreaker. They lose another series, lose a series to the A's. Paul, this is an A's team, and I'm going to say the pitching's not great. 2 runs. 8 hits. Everybody's going to say 8 hits. 7 of them, Paul, were singles. 7 of those hits were singles. And here's what I got to go do, Paul. I'm just a nerd when it comes to baseball. So I went to an exit velocity barrels leaderboard, okay? It's a whole stat little graphic that breaks down how hard guys are hitting the ball. The Seattle Mariners have 2 players in the top 20 in the exit velocity barrels leaderboard. Those 2 players, Paul, Dominic Canzone and Luke Raley. The 2, even though the big dumper hit a home run last night, Cal Raleigh, number 103 on that list. Julio Rodriguez, 187. 187. Okay, I get it. It's early. But it's time to start hitting the ball, guys. You're 10-15 right now. Last year at this time, you were 14-11. When May 1st hit, you were 18-12. Got to start winning. Got to start hitting the ball. And, Paul, I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to just hit the ball as hard as you can. Remember when you're a little kid and your mom or dad said, just hit it. If it hang it, bang it, all right? Celebrate, elevate. Just get that thing and hit it out of the park right now. Paul, I'm tired of this stuff. We got to just start hitting the ball.
Man, I just don't understand. Julio had a couple hits. Cal had a couple hits. Listen, here's the other thing. You can dog the Oakland A's and their pitching staff and their ERA is 3rd worst in MLB. But, the Astros did the same kind of thing. They were terrible up on the mound because they have had a lot of injuries they're dealing with. And the Mariners battered them around. But, Chris, you and I talked before the season started. And I remember we were breaking down the AL West, and you look at the Oakland A's, and remember, they got some guys in that lineup that can smoke that ball. Shea Langeliers is one of the guys who's just trashing the ball right now. Another home run for him last night. So this Oakland A's lineup, people love to just poo-poo the A's because they play in Sacramento. It's a minor league ballpark. They're waiting to move to Vegas. They had nothing in Oakland to support those poor fans down there sitting in this sewage-filled stadium of theirs, just watching their team wallow through the first half of the season. And God love the fact that the Athletics fans have put up with all that garbage from the owner all the way down throughout the years. Now they're trying to stay loyal to this group that's moving to Vegas here shortly. But you got to give the A's some credit, Chris. I mean, that lineup they have can be dangerous, and they're proving that in these first 2 games of this series.
1 through 7, Paul, in that lineup. I mean, they are battling. These guys are battling. I think it was on the broadcast last night. They showed the hard hit rate, and the A's are doubling the Mariners right now. And I think there was a bat late where Julio Rodriguez got a pitch where, the announcers wanted him just to rip it, and he took it for a strike. So, I mean, we're starting to see enough sample size right now where it's like, okay, Julio's a late bloomer, blah, blah, blah. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, once again, Paul, barrels and exit velocity, he is 103. This is a guy that was battling for the MVP award last year, and I think he actually should have won the MVP award. Now, there are some people that say, settle down, Chris, they're hitting the ball. One of those is the manager, Dan Wilson. Here he is.
Offensively, we had some opportunities that we didn't cash in on tonight. I thought, the first inning was outstanding. Getting ref on there, getting him, over to the third, and then the sac fly. And obviously Cal with a couple hits tonight, and Julio. But a lot of contact tonight. I think we had 8 hits, so there was a lot of contact, but just not a lot to show for it. And we got to keep pushing and keep getting that traffic on there, and keep giving ourselves a chance, and we know that at some point we'll start to get those runs in.
8 hits, as you mentioned, Paul, but I'll mention again, 7 of those hits were singles, 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position.
I just want you to tell me more about exit velo because
you like that, Paul, when I talk about that.
You know,
I mean, basically, it's how hard you're hitting the ball.
Yeah, I just love it because Mike Blowers, one of the great Mariners of all time, and one of it's just a staple in that broadcast booth for so many years, and we definitely miss you, Mike. But he was one of the first guys ever talked about exit velo, and we all kind of just started talking, why is this such a big deal? But to hear you bring it up on this program, exit velocity, is just like...
It's a sexy stat.
Wow, yeah,
It's a sexy stat, Paul. We'd love to talk. It basically comes down to this. I mean, I can go to Little League, just hit the ball as hard as you can. Easier said than done, of course, when you've got pitchers that are going anywhere from 70 miles an hour with their slider. They'll throw in a curveball at 82, and then all the next thing you know, you're seeing a 96. So you basically have to know the pitch you're going to be hitting at, and you got to go for it. But, I do need to point out Dominic Canzone. If I'm going to talk about the bad, we got to talk about the good. Dominic Canzone, number 8 on that list right now. He is hitting the heck out of the ball. So is Luke Raley. Unfortunately, these are guys, though, that they're platooning a little bit here. We didn't see Luke Raley all night last night. He comes in later in the game. So our best 2 hitters right now, Dominic Canzone and Luke Raley, I just love to see him in the lineup a little bit more. I know people are going to point to that lefty versus lefty stat stuff, but
doesn't it seem a little odd that you just said Dominic Canzone and Luke Raley are our best hitters? It's
best
just
hitters.
At this point in the season, again, they're just getting underway. They got 137 left.
137 to go, Paul. But I do want to mention this: 10 and 15 last year, 14 and 11. And I know a lot of people are going to say it's early, but when you look at May 1st, go back to May 1st, which is coming up, Paul. There was only one team that won their division that was under 500 last year, that being the Toronto Blue Jays. Every other team that won their division at the May 1st point was over 500. So the Mariners have some work to do here, Paul.
All right. Well, it's good that you bring up the rest of Major League standings because we've talked about it before, and you can talk about the last couple of weeks. Nobody's running away with anything except the fact that the Dodgers have proven that they're going to be good. They have the money behind them. They've got the talent on that team. They're off to a great start. Everybody else, especially in the American League, is just sitting right there. 500, a little bit above, a little bit below. No one's running away from this. So if you're not playing your best baseball right now, Seattle Mariners, case in point, no one's running away from you. So this is a good time to get things fixed.
And I agree 100%. And that's why I just want to fire up I'm doing what I can here, Paul. I'm not playing in the game today, so I'm going to hopefully just fire up these bats a little bit, because what do the Seattle Mariners have that a lot of other teams don't have? Pitching. They have a lot of great pitching. Now, Rock's been off to a rocky start, but you've got Bryce Miller coming. We're going to hear from Bryce in a second. You also had some issues with the bullpen. Casey Legumina, gave up those 3 runs. Well, the Mariners designated Casey for assignment. What do? They go out and make some moves. They're not, holding pat. Justin Hollander, goes out. They bring up Alex Hoppe, a reliever. He got called up after Legumina was designated. Hoppe spoke with the media, and Paul, I love what he had to say. This is why I love the sport of baseball. I get goosebumps listening to these guys when they get that first call up to the big leagues. It's something that Hoppe has been dreaming about since he was a kid.
It's pure excitement, obviously anxiousness and nerves, because you're in the big leagues, you're part of a small select group of individuals that have done it throughout history. But honestly, pure excitement, just walking up the stairs when I was kind of getting a little tour of here, just seeing the stands this high. I've never been in the stadium where stands are this high and stuff, which is pretty significant. But I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to be here. I'm very grateful. They have told me from day one, hey, you're going to help us win games in the big leagues. You're a big leaguer, even though I hadn't made it yet, and I know I had my faults and stuff. But they told me no, do this, and you're going to help us. You have all the hard stuff done. Just make these fine little tweaks and stuff, and you'll be right here with us and competing your ass off and winning ball games. And they believe that probably more than some days I believe in myself, which is spectacular to hear from an organizational standpoint.
Drafted in 2022, coming out of the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, Paul. His first year in college, had an 18 ERA. I love these stories of these kids coming from smaller schools, getting the call up to the big leagues, and here he is. Hopefully he's going to help this bullpen out, could make his major league debut as soon as today. But this is what I love about baseball. It's just stories like this young man right here.
When you give anybody, these kids that get a shot, these young guys that get a shot, some of these guys have been in the minor leagues for, 10, 12 years. They finally get their call up, which is awesome. You always love to see that. And then, I was talking about Brian Wu the other day, the fact that he was on the national broadcast on Saturday and just, talking about how bad he was in college and how he thought, man, I'm going to have to think of another line of work because I don't have any shot of being a major league pitcher. But then he gradually increases his pitches and his talent level, and all of a sudden, everybody sees the promise this guy has. So, even Wu laughs at the way he pitched and can't believe sometimes that he is pitching in the majors, and certainly one of, if not the best Mariner starter on this team. You just got to give these guys a chance, and I think with Hoppy coming to town, with the pitching he's going to get, the pitching coaches and the pitching tips he's going to get from this coaching staff, he's going to be just fine. He's in good hands.
Paul, you make a great point with Wu. If you take a look at Baseball Reference and you go to Brian Wu, you'll look at his college stats and be like, huh?
Right, exactly.
What do the Mariners see this guy? And this is great for all the parents out there. Yep. Your 12-year-old, your 13-year-old, your 14-year-old doesn't need to be the best pitcher on the team, doesn't need to be throwing 90 or 100 miles an hour. It is a long, very long process. We've seen this with a lot of major league pitchers, not just Wu, not just Hoppy. We talk about development, getting the arms ready. Attention, Everett Aqua Sox fans and Mariner fans. On Friday, Bryce Miller will make a rehab start in Everett versus Spokane. Miller talked about what he's hoping to accomplish in his rehab starts with Everett and Tacoma.
Yeah, mainly just go out and attack how I will in game. I'm not trying to add any pitches or do anything crazy. Just go out and let it rip. And now that the oblique is healed up and I'm past that, it's just getting back on a routine and feeling normal on a normal week. So I don't know. It'll be fun. Velo in spring training was the best it's been in a while. It was really good the last couple of weeks, so it'd be good to do it in a game environment.
It would be good, too, Paul, to pack that place up and ever get a sellout for Bryce Miller. That's baseball at its best. He was pretty excited with his velo in spring training. He also hit 98 miles an hour down in Tacoma pitching for the Rainiers in his first start. So I tell you, this is we go back to, Paul, why we're feeling pretty good and optimistic, even though they're not at where they need to be. Well, you have pitching. Pitching wins baseball games, and if Luis can't get rolling, well, here comes Bryce Miller to the rescue.
Yeah, with the arms the Mariners have on this staff and in the bullpen, they're never going to be out of games. They just got to get the bats to catch up. But great to see Bryce Miller out there working again. He was happy with his couple of innings of work down in Tacoma. His arm felt great, throwing into the mid to upper 90s. That's all he wanted. He didn't care how many hits he gave up, which he gave up a few hits and a few runs. Didn't matter. He got off the mound, felt good the next day. They always say it's how do you feel the next day or two after you've pitched like that. So great for Aqua Sox fans. They love their baseball up there. They're going to get a front row seat. Bryce Miller this weekend. Friday night, as Chris mentioned, the Everett Aqua Sox and his second rehab start.